just saw the email with your rebuttal. Is there anything else that you'd like to provide specific to the incident at the men group?
I mean, I could work on that email for another 6 hours, literally.
Okay. Specific to the incident?
Yeah.
Anything you want to...
Audio recordings that I have of me calling the first sergeant immediately after. So there's that. The senior hunt and himself came to my house to check up on me that same day. That conversation, and I tried to re-listen to it, and just little things that are said in there that I would think would be important. You know, how more so, not necessarily that they're on my side, but their understanding of what happened. Yeah, have you had a chance yet, sir, to read my entire?
Just got it.
Okay.
I just got it. Some of the info, I think, was in previous documentation that I've been through. As you can imagine, it's quite lengthy.
Of course, yeah.
To get through, but I have looked at it.
Okay. And then also, I guess I could state for the record that the 1186 that Mrs. Garcia provided, and then the one that Senior Ike provided, I mean, they're different. You could just see her story and her timeline, and then his, they're different. And then the recording that I have, if we just go off of that, and then you compare my audio recording to what he state in his 1186, it's different. What you state in the LOR, the order of, I wrote in there, the order of what you disciplined me on, I guess, is inaccurate. And that's why I had to go from my entire perspective from 1 all the way to 105, which is what it is. And I even mentioned in there that you jump from 6 and 7 to 53. And then I gave you the chunk of what you left out, which is context. Which I would believe to be deceiving, misleading, and I don't understand how you would be able to do something like that if you've conducted due diligence and due process on your end, having a conversation with me maybe before LOR was even a thought, you know, like these two senior leaders here has, you know, so that's why, yeah.
So I think last week I was willing to hear you, but the way you came in, Lance, was pretty disrespectful for a first interaction. So you get an opportunity to correct. You didn't. That was an opportunity for you also just to have a conversation, right, and state your case with the statements from Senior Ike and the other lady in the clinic. That whole incident itself, do you not see anything that you should have done differently?
That's the thing. That is exactly the thing. I'm at the point to where I can't control those impulse urges. That wasn't the first time. I've had interactions with another master sergeant. That was the first sergeant, even before I left for Laurel Ridge.
So for those, Lance, understanding if that's the case, what about recognizing maybe you didn't do something right, going back to the individual and apologizing potentially? Right? Is that an option for Lance?
I honestly don't know if you're trying to belittle me. I don't know I really don't know if you're trying to provoke me and instigate me. I know, and let's say you were, hypothetically, that's what your reaction would be, saying you're not, because you can't blatantly, straight up, flagrantly state with brazen that you're doing that, right? So not just you, but all the leaders before you. I don't know if you've read a single one of my emails that I've emailed you. Okay, you have? From June 21st, 18th to 12th, there was 2 of them, May 29th, May 26th.
Have I been provided?
Okay. So for you to tell Sergeant Calhoun that I need to report to you in blues and I'll be receiving disciplinary action, which obviously is what blues would entail. And I asked my ADC if it was in Article 15 because she would have privy to that, right? She told me no. But still, how would I be receptive into having a conversation with you when I view you as a new Colonel Barry Roche, who's done nothing, literally, and you overtake his spot, and now you want to hammer me with action when he's not once hammered me with anything? But now you come in his spot and you hammer me with action. It's almost as if like they were waiting for him to leave, or he was waiting for him to leave to do this, so it doesn't look like retaliation. I don't know. That's how I view you, and that's exactly how I view Captain Abduali right now, who's in the Lieutenant Colonel Vazquez.
Okay.
Like, so you telling me to apologize?
No, we're having a conversation.
Yeah. Or sorry,
going
asking.
back and forth.
Right.
if that's something that would have been in the realm of possible for Lance to do, having, after the incident, kind of realized, okay, maybe I didn't handle that all that well. Maybe I should go back to the conversation to resolve any kind of issues versus.
Well, how about the fact that I walked away from him, sir, and he continuously provoked me and heckled me all the way to the parking lot? How about that showing a sign of resemblance of me trying to?
You didn't stop. He was talking to you and you didn't stop.
I
right?
was walking away from a provoking situation,
Okay.
which I'm ready to do here now if I feel myself being
Okay.
provoked, which I don't yet. But in your order as well, your contact order, you told me that if I run into any one of those people at the BX, hypothetically, right, I need to walk away from the situation.
Mhm.
Agreed, and I would do that. But I do that with Senior Ike, who I have this massive dispute with him. I have so much wrong stuff that he's done and said behind my back on that I have recorded. I don't know if you're aware of that, but like
Okay.
we go back to December when he took the new first sergeant spot. So it's not just that happened out of nowhere. So anyway, I think I did a decent job of explaining it on my rebuttal of how I feel and my concerns, which is why I also feel that the importance of it going up to the Chief of Staff of the Air Force at this point. I don't know. I just have no trust. I actually trust him. So that's the thing. Like, I need to be shown that they can be trusted. You know, just because you wear a bird on your chest, sir, doesn't mean you can have a star. Doesn't mean the
So-
title doesn't mean anything to me. I need to see and discern for myself the intent of your actions. And again,
I gotcha.
last time reporting blues, or that was I don't even have them.
So, Lance, you've been in for how long?
19 years in 1 month.
We all went to basic training.
Mm-hmm.
We all went to tech school. We all were trained proper customs and courtesies, standards of conduct, dress and appearance, protocol, etc.
Okay.
Okay? That's the standard. That's the standard, right?
Yeah.
And so last week, when I directed you to come in service dress for the first engagement for the issuance of an LR, that's not something new, right? That's
Mm.
done across the Air Force, across squadrons, across groups, etc. When someone's coming in to get some sort of discipline,
Mm.
that's the expectation. And so that I'm not breaking protocol, I'm not doing anything that I wouldn't have done before. That's how it is, right? And so that's why I requested you to be in service dress, okay?
Mhm.
You didn't report in. Both of those things, when you say trust, right?
Mhm.
It's a two-way street, okay? Respect is a two-way street. I got nothing from you last week, and that was our first interaction. So
Mhm.
maybe you can see my point of view.
Why do I have to see your point of view and you can't see my point of view, though? It's always been that way.
Okay?
Assume the
Because there's a
charitable
chain of
assumption
command.
on everybody.
There's a
Right, but
chain
if
of
you
command.
broke that chain, if you show disrespect, if you show Title 10 USC 8583 violations of exemplary requirements of good conduct, what am I supposed to do? Just continuously go up? What am I supposed to do if a leader of mine is corrupt or
Well, there's
deceitful and
there
evil,
are
proven?
processes for that, right? There's
Right.
DO, there's using your chain of command, and if you can't work things through your chain of command, that's why there are those helping agencies out there to,
Yeah.
if something, no kidding, is going wrong, somebody is acting wrong completely,
Mhm.
there's a process to follow. There's a process to follow, there's agencies to use
Mhm.
to go through that process.
Which I am using. But in the meantime, as that situation is getting addressed, what? Just go about your business as if nothing happened?
No, the expectation, Lance, is to continue being a professional airman, doing your job, showing up to work,
How can you
etc.
say that? That's so sanctimonious, sir. How can you tell me that when no leader has shown me that since the COVID mandate? Like, are you aware of it? Like, I don't know. Let me hit you with the biggest bombs. Are you aware I was in jail for 66 days for 5 charges and 7 specifications that 4 out of the 7 were literally made up?
Yeah.
Okay, that alone right there. Continue being a professional? How is that even possible?
Because your actions and words tell the story. And if you continue to act in a professional manner, then your performance and your actions and your words will support what you're trying to get across and say.
And that's your side
Vice
of it.
the opposite.
There's your story and there's my story.
Okay.
And the courts will decide
Okay.
with action whose story was correct, just like my court-martial was.
Okay.
So I honestly wholeheartedly believe I am not being disrespectful to you. I honestly don't believe that.
Okay,
If you were a different colonel,
I don't agree, okay?
right, but
And we can
I don't agree
disagree,
either.
but I don't agree.
So the fact that I don't agree,
Because
though-
I grew up in the Air Force, right?
Okay.
This year will be 30 years. I know what right looks like.
Was getting the COVID vaccine
And this is
mandate,
not
right?
what right looks like.
Can you answer that?
Okay.
When the mandate came
It's
out.
not my call.
Yes, it is your
No,
call.
it's not my call.
Absolutely
It's
your
the
call.
President of the United States.
Sir,
And everybody.
your direct requirements are to defend the Constitution. Enlisted members, their direct requirement is to abide by the words above them, lawful words of the officers above them, because of the officers that screen the Constitution above them. That was you just told me everything right there. The fact that you still think it wasn't your call, you could have put a stop to that. That's the fact that no commander has done that. Has now led
Stop to what, Lance?
a stop to the COVID. Do anything you can at your level to tell everyone under you, or to not order your. Not saying that you did.
Well, so that's the court system, right? The process that,
Yeah.
that has to be followed for those things, and it
Mhm.
was, right? And so.
Yeah, and it was lifted within a year and a half.
Exactly, right,
So
because the
was it right
process-
though?
I followed the orders of the officer appointed.
And how did that work for the Nuremberg trial when Hitler ordered all his members to do what they did, and then they were charged for it? So were they right? Because
Those
I'm
are
about
great
to catch
questions.
you in a contradiction here, sir.
Those are great questions.
And you can't answer it. So were those members right?
Lance, I'm not planning.
You're not
to
going to answer the
game.
question.
I am not planning.
Now you're
to
not
game.
being transparent, and I'm being
We're having a
respectful.
conversation,
Okay,
Lance.
but you're not. Now you're not answering my questions anymore.
We're having a conversation. You're sitting down across the table from me versus standing at attention.
You wait. What?
While I read paperwork. Okay?
Repeat that again. I'm sorry.
We're having a conversation.
What did you say about
We
me
didn't
sitting?
have to do it like this.
Sir, what did you say about me sitting? I didn't hear you. I literally didn't hear you. Can you please repeat that?
You're sitting
Yeah.
versus standing at attention.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Which is why I'm engaging with you in conversation. I literally texted my fiance before I came here that I would not talk to you if you expect me to stand in attention like last time or anything like that. I didn't even expect for you to offer me to sit down, so that surprised me. So thank you for that, which is why I'm talking to you now.
Okay. All right. So I have received paperwork.
Yes, sir.
You've provided additional comments. I'll take all this into consideration and, of course, provide my response in accordance with the process.
Huh.
So I'll have this paperwork back to Sergeant Calhoun to go back with. And so let me make sure I'm filling this out correctly, Lance.
Sir, I believe the next one is for him to fill out, saying that he provided a response, and then he would sign.
I am assuming the attached, okay.
And then you would sign
Lance,
below
would you like
that.
to sign this, or do you want to sign it back?
No disrespect. I don't even know anymore, because when I was accused of insider threat and before I was accused of active shooter and target members, there was a document that they tried to get me to sign that stated, with your signature, you're acknowledging that if you break violation or whatever that was, it was after I was an insider threat, that I may be subject to a $2,500 fine, life imprisonment, or death. As soon as I saw that on February 6, 2023, it has been hard for me to sign almost anything
Okay,
at
well,
this
that's,
point.
just so you know, that's
Okay.
the second page of the LOR that you didn't want to sign last go, and so this next piece is stating that you provided your response, written, et cetera. So that's what that piece is.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Mhm.
So like I said, I'll take that into consideration, and we will each follow up together, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now I have a separate topic that I want to talk about, and that goes back to expectations, okay? Just standard expectations. And so I have a memo that I'm going to read, and then I will pass it to you, and you have time to acknowledge and either sign it or not sign it, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page, Lance,
Yes, sir.
with respect to expectations. Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, so it's a memo to the duty expectations and required standards. There's references throughout this document that you'll have. So effective immediately, you're ordered to fully comply with the duty expectations and standards outlined in this memo that you'll have. It's imperative from this day forward that you adhere strictly to all military regulations, orders, and directives without exception. So failure to do so may result in adverse actions against you, okay? Discipline and respect is the first one. You'll demonstrate the level of discipline and decorum expected of a military professional in all circumstances. You must treat everyone that you encounter with dignity and respect, always adhering to the appropriate customs and courtesies, okay? For professionalism, you'll conduct yourself with professionalism and exhibit the Air Force core values of integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all you do. Adherence to all military protocols and directives are mandatory, which we just kind of talked about, to include but not limited to DAFI 1-1, which are Air Force standards, and the Air Force Handbook 36-2618, the enlisted force structure. Okay?
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Yep, sorry. Dress and appearance, you'll meet all uniform wear and grooming standards as outlined in DAFI 36-2903, dress and personal appearance. Your uniforms, including all prescribed combinations, will be clean and neat, present a professional image, and always ready for wear. For physical well-being, you're expected to maintain physical readiness and exercise within the prescribed limits of your Air Force Form 469. You'll attend the FSS physical training sessions held in the Cannon Fitness Center basketball courts on Tuesdays at 06:15 and Thursdays at 1500 hours weekly. For duty day, you're required to report promptly at 7:30 hours, 07:30 hours daily to the FSS First Sergeant Calhoun, and your duty day will conclude at 16:30 hours. You're allotted a 1-hour lunch break to be taken between 11:30 and 12:30. You're expected to diligently complete all assigned tasks and promptly communicate any challenges that may prevent you from completing assigned tasks. Unless granted an excusal by me, failure to perform assigned duties may result in adverse action against you. For communication, you'll maintain clear and concise communication with the FSS First Sergeant Calhoun, on all things that may affect your ability to comply with this memorandum. For example, you're specifically required to inform your First Sergeant in advance of all medical and other mandatory appointments that will require you to be away from your duty location, okay? Standard expectations, okay, Lance? Recording devices in the work environment. Effective immediately, you're prohibited from using any type of recording device, to include any device to create still photography, audio recordings, or video recordings on Cannon Air Force Base. Recording members performing duties on Cannon Air Force Base risks operational security.
Absolutely not, sir. I'm
and
so sorry.
recording conversations.
No, sir. Can I, please, I need to please help you right now, sir.
Lance, let me
If
finish
I
this
didn't
real
record the
quick.
conversation, please let me say this. If I didn't record the conversation with my commander's appearance from Article 15 last year before I was court-martialed, I would not have got acquitted of calling my commander a domestic threat to his face and interrupting him on several occasions. I was being tried amongst other charges for calling him a domestic threat to his face that 2 first sergeants as well were in the room for that took his back on. If I didn't have the audio to produce that, if I wasn't able to produce the audio, I mean, in the court, my lawyers, I had 3 of them, it would have been 3 of them versus my word, I would have been destroyed on that. New Mexico and Texas, from what I know, are one-party consent states for audio recording. I believe that to be an absolute unlawful order, and I'm
Okay.
stating that right now for the record. There's no way I can comply with that.
Let me finish, because there's a other piece of this that
Okay.
I think addresses your concerns, okay?
Yep.
So recording members performing duties on Cannon Air Force Base risks operational security, and recording conversations of Cannon Air Force Base personnel causes a loss of trust and mutual respect. This order is necessary to preserve good order and discipline on Cannon Air Force Base and to ensure safe and effective mission accomplishment. You may request relief from this order for individual appointments and engagements. However, absent direct approval from me and express consent from all parties to be recorded, this order remains in effect. Any unauthorized recording could result in adverse actions against you. So I think that last piece addresses your concern. It's, at the end of the day, it's getting consent from folks before you record them. Okay?
I'm gonna have to do my own research on that, but there's no way that I as of right now, I don't believe that that's to be a
Okay.
lawful order, sir.
Okay.
I just told you why I need to record everything at this point. Don't you think that's pretty
I heard you.
substantial?
I heard you.
So how? Okay, you heard me.
You're recording me now.
Blatantly. I mean, I don't know. That's disrespectful, but like obviously, I'm not hiding anything, right? I'm
Yeah.
not trying to hide anything.
Understand?
With how it saved me in the past and continues to.
Okay.
How would you even expect me to understand that?
You may request relief from this order
And if they say no,
for individual appointments and engagements.
individual appointment and engagements, but I just can't blindly record in the.
If somebody doesn't give you consent, you gotta respect their privacy too, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, there's a legal office on base that you have full access to, that if anything in here you believe, and your ADC, right?
Mm.
If anything here is unlawful or illegal, let me know, okay? From the experts.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Personal use of social media. As an airman, you are personally responsible for what you say and do, including through any electric medium and on any social media or similar platform. DAF standards must be observed by all airmen at all times, both on and off duty. Additionally, controlled, unclassified information and other official DOD information and documents are prohibited from being released to unauthorized recipients, including posting on social media or transmission via non-DOD email accounts without proper authorization. Finally, you are expressly ordered to refrain from using any social media during your duty hours, defined above, to include on your personal devices. You may only use social media on your personal devices outside of the duty day or during your allotted lunch hour. Failure to comply with this order may result in disciplinary actions, including those outlined in DAFI 36-2907, adverse administrative actions or other measures prescribed by the UCMJ. So if you have any questions about this order or require an amendment of the specified terms, you may contact the FSS SEL, and unless and until such amendment is granted by me, this order remains in effect as drafted above. So you will get a copy of this, Lance, to take back to your legal counsel and have them review it for legality, okay?
Hmm.
So I'm gonna sign this, and you're gonna get a copy of it, and you have a spot to sign. You can sign later, but to essentially acknowledge receipt and understanding, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I appreciate you coming in, Lance.
Yep.
I appreciate you actually having a conversation with me. Okay?
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Absolutely.
So, what's the end goal here? Because I'm definitely now, I felt as if all this is a setup, you know, which now, if I'm recording anything after this, right, against Sergeant Calhoun's will, I just violated your order.
Correct.
Okay. But I absolutely even feel more unsafe now, and I'm telling you this. AFI, I threw it in there, I think it's 1127 or something like that, states that any harassment or discrimination, I even texted Colonel Bergin this yesterday, that commanders and leaders are supposed to do everything they can to at least stop that alleged allegation, right? Alleged. But no one has done that. I've said it constantly, all over the place. I trust you even less now, sir, with that order.
So for the harassment piece, Lance, there is the E office, right? Handles those complaints. Have you engaged with the EO?
Yes, absolutely, but it's going to take months, which, you know, I have like 10 more days left to submit whatever I have for them. I talked to Master Sergeant McBride and Mr. Lorenzo. But in the meantime, I would think, do you not think that's a violation of that AFI, that leaders and commanders that I'm bringing to your attention, my concerns, you're not doing anything right now to nip it in the butt, so to speak. It's alleged. I'm alleging that I'm being harassed. I mean, it's from you at this back, so I don't know, right? Because that's why I went to Colonel Bergin, and he does nothing about it.
Okay.
He does nothing about it. I told him that I don't feel safe around you, and I asked if I requested to not be around you, and if Sergeant Calhoun can do this. And the Colonel Bergin, I don't know if you've seen the text or even heard about it, but he ignores it. I told him that I will not contact him any further, just in case he tries to say I'm harassing him. All right, I'm prepared for everything at this point. And then he asks me, once I tell him that I'm going to be emailing General Alvin, he asks me, to get this straight, is your concern that you don't want any orders coming from this place, and it wants to be referred to from him, I guess, or whatever the offices are?
He said the MSG CCF, which is the Mission Support Group for Sergeant, which is not a thing actually, but that would be me.
Yeah, that's what I said, the offices. So thank you, yeah. And then he asked, is that what you're asking? Obviously, that's not what I was asking. I've asked him twice if I can not, pretty much a no contact order with you as well. And he ignored, he's spinning it, and I don't do politics well.
Okay.
Right? What do you think about that real fast?
So I think at the end of the day, you know, we're going to follow a process, Lance, and there's going to be accountability, right, for following directions and not following directions. As far as the harassment stuff, I'll have to look into that.
Like immediately,
And
it
see
says.
what what the EO is tracking in
Okay.
terms of that, and what the remediation or whatever options we have through that office. But again, going back through following the process, and I'm happy to do that. I will check
Colonel
into that
Vazquez
for you.
has told me that countless times, and follow the process, follow the process. 2 years and 10 months later,
Okay.
a new commander is now telling me to follow the process, or I'm following the process.
Okay.
I would think I'm following. Like, please, someone tell me how I'm not following the process. So if I violate these orders, which I already told you, there's no way I can't record. If I can't record, I can't come on the base. Okay, what's the next step? Article 15, right? Is that what, I'm asking you what your end goal is.
Unknown.
Okay.
This LOR was to address a specific incident.
Mhm.
The duties and expectations memo is to make sure that we're on the same page, that we're all on the same page with respect to what we expect Lance to do.
So, respect to what, I'm sorry?
Expectations to what we expect Lance to do.
How about my expectations
come to
for what?
work,
How about my,
do your job.
sincerely, respectfully, how about my expectations for what a group commander, what I believe is what supposed to have done? How about that?
So
Respectfully. And that, and I mean
whatever
that.
has happened before this
Yeah,
incident,
put it away.
Lance, not put it away.
Okay.
This LOR was specific to the medical group incident, period. done.
Which happened from all of that. I know you have to understand that. Yes or no, sir? I already stated 20 minutes ago that that was not some just incident, random incident. Him and I have been going back and forth since December. I have all the conversations recorded, text messages that he'll be getting a civil lawsuit as well on. If I didn't have any of my recordings, they could do whatever they want to me. I've gotten an LOR for not paying my debt for the TLF that I was in, which is 3 times the BH rate after my court martial. If I didn't have the audio recordings of me trying to call them and trying to make payments, and them telling me that I don't need to right now, and you could try to get this waived by talking to the wing commander, or forgiven by talking to the FSS commander at the time, I would literally have no ammunition to protect myself here. I believe this to be authoritative, respectfully, I don't even know if that's respectful, authoritarianism. I've never in my 19 years have ever been told that I can't post to social media during duty hours. I don't know if you said it, I'm sorry if you did, but was it just anything? Not even lunch, so lunch is duty hours. I can't even post duty.
During lunch, absolutely, and after duty hours, absolutely. Because the expectation there, Lance, is you come to do a job. The focus all day, right, for your 8 hours,
Mhm.
is doing your job. Lunch, off duty,
Yeah.
that's your time.
I need to ask, are you aware of any of the diagnoses that my CDE results, entailed?
I believe I am.
Can you please tell me them?
IED, is
Yeah.
that one of them?
Yes, sir.
Would you just like?
No, please,
Yeah,
please
I'm
don't.
thinking,
Okay.
that's the main one that comes to mind, Lance.
That's true. It is a main one, but they don't even have that as a primary or alternate. Right? Like, how daunting is that?
What do you mean primary alternate?
So I believe that whole CDE was orchestrated to target me. I don't know. I literally sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I understand how nutty and loony. I already said this in an email. My primary is delusional.
Okay.
Now let's just say that I am, hypothetically, and I believe I'm not, which is what any delusional member would say, right? But I believe I am, and I believe I'm being targeted against, and I believe you're gonna arrest me here soon, which we are waiting for. We are waiting for that, sir. Like, I have checkpoints to hit, to text people right now in 15 minutes. That's why when the alarm went off last time, I know that could have looked disrespectful, but I had to text someone. Okay, I don't know what else, but I just got off topic. But the delusional thing. Let's just say I am wrong, and I don't believe you could hire a hit on me and to kill me if I keep this going. Because look at what you're doing. Look at what it has done. You guys are relentless. You guys are unrelenting with respect. And guess what, sir? I am too. I'm ready to die for this. I'm telling you to your face, sir, I'm ready to die for this.
Can I do that kind of stuff to you, Lance?
Obviously, you have to state that. I'm not a retard. I want to become a defense lawyer so I can protect airmen in the decade to come against commanders that I believe to be nefarious and absolutely unlawful. I'm not even saying that to you right now, right?
Okay.
For the record. But again, back to my question, sir. if I believe all this to be happening to me, and I'm wrong, hypothetically, why is that not warranting any attention? What you just read to me is like for a brand new airman out of basic training who was a senior airman, and there's no issues, there's no diagnoses, there's nothing. I have an MEB waiting because I'm unfit for duty, a referral at least, but in the meantime, I'm fit to report to work. Can you please tell me how that makes sense? These are my concerns. Can you please tell me?
No, those are absolutely good concerns, and those are questions that I have as well, Lance, that we're working through with the medical experts to make sure that we're taking care of you in those, in that respect.
So you think taking care of me is this?
Taking care of you is making sure that you have access
Mm.
to help, whatever help. it
I
is.
don't though. I don't have a provider at mental health clinic. I have recordings from my old provider saying no one wants to take me on anymore because they fear for their license being revoked. How about that?
Do you have a referral? Is there a referral for off-base?
I had a referral for a counseling, civilian counseling, whatever it's called, but that's a 3 to 6 month wait.
Okay, is there another referral that?
I have no idea, sir.
I think there may
I'm
be,
so sorry.
there may be some disconnects in terms of what you are tracking with medical type stuff.
Yeah.
That I need to get a handle on and make sure
Mhm.
that you are aware of the status of all this stuff. So I'm taking that back for action, Lance, okay? To provide
Okay.
you that update with
Okay.
respect to MEB and anything else on the medical front, okay?
Okay.
Because we owe that to you.
Yes, sir. And this was June 3rd, I believe, is when Sergeant Cahoon and Major Minarcik, who was a CE doctor, who's now in Florida, they called me and told me my results.
Okay.
All right. That's almost a month ago. Almost a month ago.
Okay.
Before that CD even happened, sir, I went to Major Boyd with the SEO and Sergeant Cahoon and the ALS Commandant all present. And I told them everything I'm telling you. You could ask these two gentlemen right here. I've tried to get help. I've tried to tell them this is what's going to happen. And then you get me, and then I get this. I'm gonna reread it because I'm having trouble even.
Absolutely.
Even.
You can take it back, but I owe you that, Lance, to get you an update on where we are with the, on the medical front, okay?
But that still leaves my question unanswered, sir.
Which one?
You said that you're trying to help me. You think this is trying to help me? I'm telling you that this is not helping me. I told Sergeant Cahoon that me sitting in my car for my duty hours was working. I would wake up and not feel disgusted putting on this disgraceful uniform, my opinion. And that was working until I wait for the status of the MEB that I'm calling my shot right now that I don't think will be completed by Thursday. And if by some miracle it is, it's going to be completely wrong because I literally know the answers to the last 365 days of what days I was not at work for and for what reason. There's no way anyone knows that because everyone's new.
Okay.
Everyone's new.
Okay.
You guys are not the OGs here that started all this. Everyone's gone. I think you guys are the third at this point, you know?
Okay.
So.
Well, like I said, Lance, I owe you that, and I'll get that back to you, okay?
Okay, but we're not addressing immediately what I just brought up though. Like I don't
Well,
feel
so-
safe to do this. I don't feel safe to be up there. You're still gonna. This still is in effect. I'm telling you, I don't feel safe up there. This will go into a court of law, sir. I'm telling you, I don't. My whole. Have you heard any of my court-martial testimonies from?
No.
That's all on my YouTube channel, sir. Full transparency. 6 people testified, and they get slaughtered from my defense attorney, and the judge even gets in on it because she's trying to get down to the truth. Does not take a genius to know when someone's lying. The flight commander, Captain Lawrence, states constant contradictions, and then for the answers he doesn't know, he says, "I don't recall, ma'am." For the answers he knows, he strays up specifically with clarity. Like she's not dumb. She's been in the Air Force for 30 years as well, and she's a judge at this point, prior lawyer, right? So.
Okay, so what I need from you, Lance, is do me a favor. Take that back to your ADC, review it.
You know
with
she's
our-
in North Dakota, right, sir? There is no
No.
ADC here.
Who's your representative?
Captain Tirado has been
She
representing
is.
him, but
Yeah,
she's just PCS.
we just.
but-
Yeah, she's
But
busy.
she's still.
Okay, she's
still in
still
contact.
engaged though?
Somewhat.
Okay, so we can set up a meeting with her and make sure she's got that to help kind of,
Okay.
so can you do me a
Absolutely.
favor, Lance? So the piece that I owe you is an update on the medical side, okay? Where MEB is at,
Mhm.
whatever else. What I need from you, specifically, just to me, lined out, what is it that I can help with? What is it that I can do? What is it that you feel you can't do? And let's address
Okay.
those, because at the end of the day, we all have a job to do, right?
My job at this point in my head is to bring absolute accountability to all the commanders on this base that has left this go unchecked, unnoticed.
Okay.
As for AFSC, are you aware of what Major Minarcik told me with Sergeant Cohn present of if I am to go back to the office, of what specifics need to happen in there?
Which office is this?
The office that you're directing me to be in, sir.
Oh, the FSS, where
Yeah.
you are now, is that, where we're?
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and the fact that you don't know that with respect is
I'm also confused as to what you're talking
Oh,
about.
she said that I need to have purposeful, delineated
Work
tasks,
right?
Okay. that I feel that serves a purpose, not just like here do whatever. What I'm saying is almost, but that's the thing. In my head, is filled up with so much has happened. I'm about to have an MRI for my amygdala to see if it's overreactive and my prefrontal cortex underreactive, which my therapist says it will no-brainer. You have PTSD from Laurel Ridge, but now I don't have any PTSD according to my CDE. Over an 8-hour interview, but the Laurel Ridge outpatient was a 10-week, 8-hour a day,
Okay.
right? Like, how does that make sense? I have all these questions that if leaders aren't able to
Okay.
articulate and straight up, transparently tell me, I start to have hunches that,
Gotcha.
and my hunches as of this point, I mean, I've been right on tons of my hunches. A lot. I had a hunch, sir, I'm gonna let you know this, that I believe my PIF that I received from my first sergeant before I was arrested, and then the PIF that they gave the defense team, my defense team, and the judge, and then the PIF that I got from Sergeant Ike after my court-martial. I was laying on the couch one weekend, I was like, I wonder if those match. And I bumped them all, and lo and behold, the one from the court, the defense team, or commander at the time, Lieutenant Col Vazquez, or both, I don't know yet, they've taken out stuff. So they can't see. But the thing is, and then Sergeant Ike gives me back with a PIF, and it's back in it. That makes no sense to me.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know, that's
I'm not-
called
I'm not
perjury.
tracking that
That's
either.
tampering with evidence. That's a humongous violation of crime, sir.
So Lance, last question, sorry, and I have to run.
No, you don't apologize.
I have to
You're
run
fine.
to another meeting. But you asked me the question, what's my end game? What is yours? So you don't have to answer it now.
No, I
You can
absolutely
put it on
can't.
paper.
It's the
so we
MEB.
can clear.
Okay, yeah.
So we can clearly kind of, see what Lance's end game is, what his desires are, so we can do our best to make that happen.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
But I need you at the same time,
Mm.
right, to do the things that I would expect any airman to do, okay? And that's, some of those things are in there, but it goes back to my first comments, right, about we all come in, we get trained up the same way, we know what the expectations are, okay? I need you to focus on that piece, Lance.
I need to address that. You said any airman. What you expect any airman to do. I'm not any airman at this point. I'm not, right? I know you've been in the Air Force for 30 years. I'm sure you've had your fair share of court-martials. Have you ever heard of someone had 7 charges specifications being acquitted of all charges? Okay, that's big. I honestly thought you would say yes because of your vast experience. But everyone has said no. Chief Marburg, I think I've asked everyone in this room. I haven't had one person that said yes yet. And I've looked at the Air Force dockets online. There are full acquittals out there. But the fact that no one has had any interaction on that, I would hope that would raise a red flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what the ask is, okay,
Mhm.
from you. All right?
Yes, sir.
Lance, I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
I appreciate you having a conversation.
I could talk to you for 5 hours.
Okay.
I could talk.
But I gotta
Yeah.
run.
I understand. Yes, sir.
But I appreciate it. And so we'll be in touch.
Mm.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right?
Mm.
Sir.
Okay, thanks, Lance.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay.